Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Hope that you are doing well, feeling good, just everything's going nicely for you. Okay, excuse my mispronunciations, but today we're going to listen to Giacinto Scelsi. We're going to listen to this piece of music, Uaxuctum. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Which was performed or premiered in 1987. I have never heard of this composer, this piece of music, none of this, but it was suggested by Maldoror, 1972. So thank you so much for the suggestion. In your comment, you kind of got my attention because you said the only thing you can tell me, there is nothing similar in the world of classical music than the dark and eerie works of this Italian eccentric who died in '88 and who was the most unique phenomenon in the world of classical avant-garde of the 20th century. I always say, if you're going to leave a comment with recommending a song or a piece of music or something, make it, you got to give me something. Make me want to listen to it, And this makes me want to listen to it, so we're going to give it a shot. Now, usually with classical pieces of music, I like to watch a live performance. I did find a live performance here on YouTube from France Music Concerts, but I'm going to be honest. I'm nervous with copyrights and stuff because like the last few classical reactions and live reactions that I've done have been blocked and I've had to edit them, and it's not worth it to have on YouTube if you can't even see the video. It's just annoying, So I'm gonna pass it on this time. And we're going to listen to the audio. We're just going to listen to the audio. And this is going to be from the Bavarian Radio Chorus that we're going to listen to. So I found it online. Let's go ahead and pull it up, listen to it. We'll talk about it after. It's going to move between the different movements there, of which there are 5. And that's all I got for you. Here we go, guys. Whatever. Let's go ahead and watch the live version. I don't care. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. We're gonna watch the live version. You give me a second to pull it back up. We're doing it. We're doing it. I want to see. I want to see it. How quick did I change it? We'll do it live. Uaxuctum. Is that how you pronounce it? Uaxuctum? I don't think I've ever seen the conductor walk out. We've always started the piece like at this part. Not that we're missing much. This is a horror movie soundtrack. It's an interesting vocal technique for all of them. What did she just pull out? On the bottom right. I love the sounds that their voices create. It's really cool to get a visual on how this is done. That's why I like to look, you know? I like to see. This seems like it would be such a hard piece to perform. That's a cool shot. I don't know. Second movement. I like those breathy sounds that they create. I think this is like a very interesting section over here. I'm most impressed with these vocalists and the choir and these really, really dissonant harmonies that they come up with. They sound like absolutely monstrous and eerie. I don't even... Where'd the ode come from? Could barely hear it. Kind of interesting. Like a module to adjust the sounds that come out of there. Just do a cloth on there to mute the sound, dampen it. This is so cool. Like, this manipulation of sound right here. the other instruments fade in and out around their voices. I love the barrels and the windscreen or whatever that is brought in. I feel like vocally this is a very hard piece to perform. Is that it? That's it? Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Okay. This is still up here. Get this out. Get this off my screen. How do I get that off my screen? I don't know how to get it off. Okay, that worked. All right. I have to come at this piece of music from two different angles because it's just how my mind works and how I'm feeling about listening to this piece of music that I can't pronounce. From the first, on the first half, let me just throw this all together. This is the type of music that I'm glad exists, and no matter if you loved it, hated it, somewhere in the middle, this is the type of music that you should be glad exists because it's people pushing boundaries in different ways. I think that the vocal performance here is so subtly underrated and seems very hard, using a different aspect of a vocal's vocal talents. I was noticing that one of the women that was performing there, she would kind of quiver in her throat to create that different kind of vibrato that you probably wouldn't use in traditional singing or performance. Like it was just used for effect here, which a lot of the music that was performed was made for effect and for drama and theatrics rather than pure melody and rhythm and things like that. This is definitely very much of an avant-garde position to take in the music here, and it progresses things in a different way and in a different light. And I really, once again, the big A word, I really appreciate that because I think that, as I've said previously on this channel, I try to come at things most of the time from a music appreciation standpoint. And I think that is very incredible in this. This sounds like I'm listening to a horror movie take out the dialogue, take out the performances, obviously take out the visuals, and this is what you're left with. And I think that it's really interesting to kind of hear it from this perspective, because you can kind of get a feel for all the minutia of sounds that are taking place, all the very, very small details, even from the very beginning. Their vocals could barely hear them, didn't even know what was being sung or sounded, until realizing further on, oh, that's just them. But done in such a quiet kind of way, but a lot of them put to build up that power eventually. And some of the, I don't know if I want to say harmonies, but some of the way that they all came together vocally was both somewhat harmonic, but at the same time somewhat dissonant. And they struck a really interesting balance there that I think worked really well for this sort of position, you know? Some of the instrumentation was really interesting. As far as I can tell, it was the ode that came out there, which I could barely hear when she was playing that. And then there was that, I don't know, maybe a harpsichord or something related to clavinet, but then it had like a little module next to it of which the sounds and things could be adjusted. You know, like there's a lot of interesting things going on here. All the percussionist, all the timpani, the sheet or blanket over the tuba. Like there's a lot of interesting things happening here just to get a very specific sort of sound. Listening to this and kind of going back to my horror movie thing, this sounded like it would fit very well in like Suspiria. Like it sounds like it would fit into that kind of movie or something of that nature, you know, in which it's kind of subtly horrific, not outwardly psycho theme horrific. You know, this is kind of something looming in the darkness behind you in the shadows. Like something like that, right? Makes you look behind you just to check. And I think that they accomplished that really, really well. Now, without me ripping it or anything like that, I was hoping for a little bit more from it. I really enjoyed, like, for example, the first 2 movements or so. I was like, this is really interesting. I really like this kind of unique sound that's being, you know, performed here. Where does this go? But we just kind of got the same thing. I didn't feel like there was a progression. I didn't feel like there was an evolution. It just felt like more of the same, which is fine. It's just not exactly what I was looking for. I would hope that it would progress into something rather than just kind of, I guess, rest on its performative laurels and just kind of create this, you know, kind of creepy atmosphere. It did a great job of that. I just wanted more out of it. And I guess that's like if you're listening to, for example, Brian Eno, Music for Airplanes 1-1. You're like, in the first few minutes of those beautiful tones, you're like, okay, this is really nice. I like the ambience of it. But let's see where this goes. But it doesn't go anywhere else. You're just beautifully stuck in the ambience. Okay, maybe that's not what you were looking for. Kind of similar thing here. It's not this type of ambience that I would find myself listening to and enjoying, so I didn't want so much more of it, and yet so much more of it I received. And then also, I can't ever see myself listening to this for enjoyment. I mean, that's just me. This isn't something that I would ever listen to on my own. I can't see myself listening to this again. But once again, just to put it out there, this is the type of music that I'm at least appreciative that it exists. Even if I can tell you 100% for myself, I would never listen to it again, nor would I ever seek it out. After a few minutes, I did get a little bored. If I'm being honest with you, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, as Bruce said. Now, there wasn't like a Wikipedia article for this piece of music, so let's go ahead and look at Classical.net. Classical.net. Why not? This extraordinary piece is in 5 movements, totaling about 20 minutes. In addition to the large chorus written at an astonishingly difficult technical level, which I think, it 100% is. It scored for all these other instruments here as well. Okay, here's some of the interesting ones. 7 other percussionists playing on instruments as the rubbed 200-liter can, which we saw, a large aluminum hemisphere, we saw that, and a 2-meter high sheet of metal. That's what I'm thinking of. Chorus is written in 10 and 12 parts, incorporating all variety of microtonal manipulations, such as breathing and other guttural and nasal sounds. And I think that was really interesting, like getting a different use out of a vocalist, making it really like an art, right? The piece is certainly its most difficult to perform and was not premiered until 87. It's subtitled The Legend of the Maya City, Destroyed by Themselves for Religious Reasons, and corresponds to an actual Maya city in Pitan, Guatemala, which flourished during the first millennium AD. In addition, the Mexican state of Oaxaca comes from the same ancient Mesoamerican root. It is an intensely dramatic work, and the most bizarre of his output. It depicts the end of an ancient civilization. In this case, he says the Mayans made a conscious decision to end the city themselves. It incorporates harmonic elements throughout and is extremely difficult to come to terms with. Goes on from there, etc., etc. There are no proper words to describe this amazing piece, which presents him at his most daring and innovative. It is a world all to itself and a warning. I do think that's true. You know, once again, I'm in astonishment and admiration for the music and the progression that it shows and the different facets that music can be and can represent that maybe even we ourselves don't think about. All of that, 100%. But I don't want to listen to it again. Let me know what you guys thought of it, of course, in the comments down below. I hope that this isn't blocked. Man, come on, just... I don't feel like editing this, man. Maldoror, thank you so much once again for the recommendation and for the suggestion. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.